With
Yeah.
that being said, I think we could go into kind of a significant topic this week with just injuries in general and NFL's player safety policies and what's going on with that. You know, we had a huge scare in that Bengals and Dolphins game with Tua, and it's great that he's doing well and he's gonna get some rest this week, hopefully. And again, it's tough to see. We talked about it last week. It's
Yeah,
tough to
yeah,
see.
yeah. We talked about, because last week we saw Tua get hit in the Bills game, and he had to go out, and he couldn't walk and all that, and then you have Teddy Bridgewater come in, and Tua come back
Yeah,
later in the game.
and
He
that was
comes
just
back in and
like,
plays, and it was a story. And then now this week he comes in and starts against the Bengals, and you know gets hit. Clearly some head trauma. I know they kept trying to say it was the back. Everyone's seen
yeah,
the
that's
the
not no
the,
back.
the
That's not a back
reactions
problem.
that Tua was having. And look, the doctor was fired now. The NFL got rid of them, and yeah, it's just a disaster. Player safety in general, like we said, players tearing things on turf. I mean, at this point, look, you guys are the NFL. Why you have to have turf? Why you can't just have grass there and be able to maintain it with all the money that they make hand over fist?
Right, or at least get quality turf because
Yeah.
that turf is not gonna do it. It's not gonna cut it. And
So
it's just yeah, it's just
yeah.
tough.
So but yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what's going on. I mean, look, we've seen terrible hits before,
Right.
and usually, pretty much all the time, it doesn't look as bad as the stuff Tua was going through. I
Yeah,
mean,
so what's your thoughts on that? Because as I mean, I'm not a coach, but if I was in that position, it's kind of like you got to take the helmet away. You got to hey, listen to it. You're sitting this one out. We're playing against the Bengals this week. It is what it is. Teddy Bridgewater can manage. He's not a bad quarterback. Let's sit you down. Let's get you some rest and we'll get some more evaluations. That's my take on it. Tua could say all he wants. He could be frustrated, but at the end of the day, it's a head injury. If it's a injury, then it's like, all right, by all means, you make the decision on your own. But anything head wise, head shoulders and above, it's just like I don't know. I personally don't think that Mike
yeah.
McDaniel's took the right approach with that.
Well, I think the problem is to um, when the doctors tell you he's okay, and you're a young head coach, and it was maybe a situation where it's not an excuse for him not to do the right thing, but I think his inexperience showed here. I
Yeah,
think a more experienced coach
but it
would
just
have
sat him.
said, "Nah, you can't go in. Like,
Yeah,
I don't care what the doctors are saying. We're gonna sit you the rest of this game, and we're gonna figure out some more stuff. Make sure you're good to go." He kind of takes the doctor's words for it, and it just wasn't the right call. And you see that when he didn't even get hit. He got sacked and pulled and kind of slammed into the ground where his head
yeah,
hits it, and that's it.
and it's
Things
just
go
another
haywire. And
right.
like I was saying before, we've seen violent hits before. What happened to Tua both weeks in a row might have
It's
been
devastating.
the two worst situations. I mean, and look, and this is counting when you see players, legs get bent the wrong way and
Yeah,
fingers go that way and
it's a
arms
tragedy,
go that
man,
way. It's
because it's like my whole thing with it is he shouldn't have been playing, and it's like it happened Sunday. They were playing Thursday, so treatment wise, Monday maybe he got some treatment. Tuesday maybe he got some treatment. Wednesday, Thursday they're on the road to go prep for the game, and they're practicing. So it's like there's not much gap of rest. There's not much. So it's like just sit him down. Teddy
yeah.
Bridgewater is a good enough quarterback to possibly win that
Well,
game.
I think the problem is also, like I said, it seems like more of like a Mike
Yeah, it's just an
Uh,
experience
yeah,
thing.
it's an experience thing, and the other part is if you bring him back to end the game because he was supposedly good enough.
Why wouldn't you bring him back into the next game?
Right,
Right.
and then probably they didn't look into it more. They figured, okay, the doctor said he's okay. But yeah, that's why it has to. You have to handle these things right from the jump because
Right.
then they don't just go away as we see. Now it's a bigger issue. Where if maybe you would have sat him for the rest of that game,
Then at least you have
you could have been
a little bit more
looking
leeway.
more into it, and then you would have said, oh no, he's not okay, we're not going to start him.
Right.
My guess is they probably didn't look into it that much afterwards.
They were probably so tied into the game because it was obviously a close
Yeah.
game where they were just like, all right, Tua, you ready to go and you ready to rock and just two in the moment. And it's like Tom or Tom Brady. Bill Belichick probably wouldn't have done that. Bill Belichick would have been like, all right, Tua, you're sitting out for this game. I don't give a damn what's going on.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like even Brandon Staley, it's like you have Justin Herbert out there playing with almost a broken rib and he's out there playing every single snap. It's like who's he going against? He's going against the Jaguars, and the Jaguars beat you guys that week. So it's like, if anything, just let the guy get some rest, let him heal, let him, and that's part of the thing. It's like there has to be some type of understanding. There has to be better evaluators, or they just these coaches just need to be held accountable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see what happens further on in the year. Hopefully, nothing else happens, and hopefully, there's a lot less head injuries and things like that. But